Watch Henry Blake's weeknights at 9 on West Dakota Fox News at 9. This is West Dakota Fox News at 9 with Molly Martinez and meteorologist Henry Blake's. Your first news of the night starts right now on West Dakota Fox News at 9.
We begin tonight with breaking news. Less than an hour ago, President Trump and Kim Jong-un meet for the first time and seal the historic moment with a handshake. And it comes hours before their historic summit. Reporter Lauren Blanchard has the latest from Singapore.
The first meeting during President Trump's trip to Singapore took place today. The president and other U.S. officials attending a working lunch with the host country's prime minister. Ahead of President Trump's highly anticipated summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un Tuesday, the president attending a closed bilateral meeting with Singapore's Prime Minister Lee. The two leaders shook hands in front of the cameras and then made their way to the table. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, National Security Advisor John Bolton, and Chief of Staff John Kelly also sitting in on the working lunch. President Trump briefly thanking the Prime Minister.
My friend, and we've got a very interesting meeting, in particular tomorrow, and I think things can look up very nicely. But we appreciate your hospitality and professionalism and your friendship. Thank you very much.
Following the lunch, Singapore's foreign minister tweeted a photo from inside showing an early birthday celebration for the president, complete with a giant birthday cake. Tomorrow, all eyes will be on the unprecedented one-on-one meeting between the sitting U.S. president and Kim Jong-un. They are expected to discuss several topics, but at the top of the list, denuclearization, with President Trump pushing Kim to abandon his nuclear weapons program.
He has made it clear that if Kim Jong-un denuclearizes, there is a brighter future for North Korea. Tomorrow, we will get our clearest indication to date of whether Chairman Kim Jong-un truly shares this vision.
Kim also arrived in Singapore on Sunday. After the lunch today, Secretary of State Pompeo tweeted the president is looking forward to the meeting and is prepared, adding that America's position remains clear and unchanged. In Singapore, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Our other top story, a 10-year-old girl is dead after a jet skier loses control on Strawberry Lake in McLean County. It happened on Saturday. Authorities say 41-year-old Dean Barsich of Minot fell off his water ski, which then slammed into two 10-year-old girls being pulled by an inner tube on a motorboat. Both girls were eventually airlifted to Gillette Children's Specialty Healthcare Hospital in St. Paul, Minnesota, where one of them died yesterday. The other is still being treated. Authorities say no drugs or alcohol were involved, and so far, no charges have been filed. Time now is 9:16. Let's throw it over to Henry for our first check on weather. All right, thank you, Henry. In a few hours, polls will open across the state for the primary election. If you plan on casting a ballot tomorrow, you'll need to bring documentation that shows your name, date of birth, address, and proof that you've lived in the precinct for more than 30 days. If you have an out-of-state ID, just bring along a bill. Reporter Maddie Gelseth shows us what else you'll need to bring.
In North Dakota, there are 424 voting precincts. In Burleigh County, there are 38. And in Morton County, there's 18 precincts.
You must vote in the precinct where you reside. So you can't just go to any one of the 27 locations in Burleigh County.
The state elections director says there's at least one polling place in every county.
Even those counties that run vote by mail do have at least one polling place open on election day.
To find out where your precinct is, you can go online to vote.nd.gov. On the ballot this primary election, there aren't any statewide measures, only candidates running for public office.
It's those local contests that really matter, and hopefully people will turn out for that.
Glott says he expects there to be a below average amount of people voting during the primary election.
Voter turnout is based upon what's on the ballot.
Glott says he believes that local races are most important and wants people to get out and vote. For West Dakota Fox News at 9, I'm Maddie Joseph.
Tomorrow's election in Minot will determine new city council members and a new mayor. And by the end of the day, 2 Ward County sheriff's candidates will move on to the general election. Voting will take place at the Minot Municipal Auditorium. You can head to the polls between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Central Time. This is the only location to vote in the area, and some Minot residents say that they're on board with the central location decision.
One point where everybody votes, if they want to vote, they're going to go there. If they have to stand in line, they'll stand in line.
I think that's fine. At least that way we know exactly where to go instead of chasing all over Minot.
In Williston, 14 candidates on the ballot are running for the Williston District 1 School Board. Officials say the turnout for the midterm election is usually lower than the general election, but this year, Williston Mayor Ward Koser says what's on the ballot will make a big difference.
Probably the one issue that has the most impact on our community. The schools are growing, and how are we going to solve that problem and provide the schools and whatever. So I'm just keenly interested in seeing what these new people coming to the table have to offer, and so it's really exciting that there's so many, and a lot of them are young people as well, which is exciting.
If you live in Stark County, here are the places you can vote tomorrow. The National Guard Armory on Museum Drive in Dickinson, the Beziote Activity Center located next to the Rodeo Arena, and the DSU campus, Richardson City Hall and Belfield City Hall. The vote centers in Stark County will be open from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Now, we'll have full team coverage tomorrow from the second the polls open until the last results are in. We hope you stay with us, West Dakota Fox and KFYR TV, your election leader. Around the region, the trial for 2 men involved in an officer-involved shooting in January have been rescheduled for July 9th. Ulysses Villalobos and Juan Nunez were originally set to stand trial on May 1st. Villalobos is accused of trying to run over a police officer who then shot him. Police say Villalobos then fled to South Dakota with Nunez's help. The preliminary hearing for the man accused of murdering his ex-wife has been set for July 11th. 37-year-old Kevin Hoff turned himself in to Stutzman County last month after the fatal shooting of his ex-wife, 25-year-old Nicole Gululala Hoff, who was in her car in a parking lot of their apartment. The owner of a Bismarck head shop will stand trial October 3rd, accused of stealing paraphernalia intended for use of marijuana. Police arrested Ryan Loeb of Tokes R Us on April 20th after officers purchased products deemed to be illegal. While Loeb was in jail, officers say they found 10 morphine pills in his pocket. And the wet weather could save more than crops and pastures this year. North Dakota Game and Fish say the favorable weather could rebound the pheasant, sharp-tailed grouse, and partridge populations. Harvested pheasants decreased 38% last year to 309,000, and sharp-tailed grouse numbers were down 28%. Partridges were down 40%. With peak hatching season about to start, the next month is crucial.
The first 10 days chicks hatch, they need insects to develop. They need the protein, other nutrients, and just in a drought, there's no insect production, so therefore not enough food to go around for the chicks, so their survivability wasn't very high.
Water continues to spill out of the Garrison Dam, which means high tides for the Missouri River. And while Morton County is in no position to enforce it, it's asking voters to be considerate of the concerned property owners who live along the river to avoid creating wakes. They can impact the riverbanks and cause erosion. Water releases from the dam are expected to remain high during the summer. And Bismarck has picked its hometown heroes. Among them is a Vietnam veteran and the Bismarck Fire Department. 6 winners came from a list of 25 nominees. Each winner will be featured at the Larks baseball game this season. The first will be on June 21st. Other winners include Julie Chigardo, founder of Fury Friends Rock and Rescue, and Mark and Mary Myers, the founders of Heaven Helpers Soup Cafe. Well, the end of net neutrality begins today. But what does that mean, and why are some consumers worried? Fox News correspondent Garrett Tenney has more from Washington.
What this FCC has said simply is that we're going to go back to the light touch of regulation that was in place for the first 2 decades of its existence.
The controversial repeal of the Obama-era net neutrality protections is officially in effect. The FCC throwing out a set of regulations on internet providers that prevented them from interfering with internet traffic to favor their own apps and websites. FCC Chairman Ajit Pai says the old net neutrality rules discourage internet service providers from making investments in their networks that would provide customers better and faster browsing online.
The internet is going to be better than ever. We're going to see better, faster, cheaper internet access for people who are too long have been on the wrong side of the digital divide.
Under the new regulations, internet providers will be able to block, speed up, or slow down access to certain content if they choose. This is leaving some consumers worried that corporations will charge more for internet use. In May, the Senate voted to restore net neutrality, but the House never advanced the legislation. Democratic House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi saying in a statement, quote, "Democrats know that every American deserves access to the power of the internet. We are fighting to give the American people a better deal than the raw deal Republicans are sticking them with." A majority of the big internet providers such as Comcast, AT&T, and Verizon have said they will not block or slow content despite the repeal because doing so would be bad for business. In Washington, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
Okay, let's throw it over to Henry for our last look at weather.
Hey, thank you. We're going to take you back to Dickinson.